The Atlanteans were the original discoverers of the powers of quartz crystal. They understood the unique electrical properties of quartz and were able to harness these natural oscillations in ways that we are only beginning to understand today. These crystals were not only used for healing, but were also used to store information and energy. They were used to send the human voice and images over long distances, just like modern-day television. Everything in the universe vibrates and oscillates at various frequencies. Therefore, the connecting link between all forms of energy is vibration, sympathetic harmony, and resonance. Dr. Dan Burish and others have discovered that a simple quartz crystal, electricity, and water are all the ingredients needed to create a medium for spontaneous DNA to appear in the vacuum. A micro-wormhole in which life springs from the void and the fabric of the creational universe comes through into this dimension. The same observations have been made by Dr. Viktor Grebenikov in his beach sand experiment. Basically, he heated beach silicate to white-hot luminescence and placed it in a sterile environment for 24 hours. He also had a control group that was not heated. The results were staggering. No microlife was visible in the control group as expected, but in the vials that had been heated to super white-hot luminescence, not only single-cell but multiple cellular life forms were present in the environment that would be theoretically impossible for life to form in. It simply appeared through a trans-dimensional rift in space-time. Similar experiments have even been conducted on the Russian space station, in which spontaneous DNA was witnessed in samples of cosmic dust. The world of torsion physics is about to reshape our scientific knowledge concerning the Big Bang and the origins of life in this creation.
The sterilized test tube was never opened. It had distilled water in it and just this beach sand. And then by just letting it cool down, this froth would grow on the surface, and when you analyze that froth under a microscope, it has all these critters growing in it. So it turns out that life, the field itself, the source field, has all the codes of DNA in it. This is what I go into through 3 CDs worth of lectures on that science piece thing. It is literally a living consciousness. So what we're seeing in the Russian experiments with Dr. Peter Gariev is that he took a salamander embryo, shined a laser beam through it, not a burning laser, and redirected the beam into a frog embryo. The DNA completely retooled itself from being a frog into a salamander. This little guy could grow to full adulthood, breed with regular salamanders, and their babies were salamanders, and there was no evidence of it coming from a frog. So I looked into the DNA molecule and discovered something called retrotransposons, where you have these little particles that can break off one area and go to another area, and literally rewrite the code. And in fact, there was one scientist who took the fruit fly Drosophila, consistently, his name was Francis Hitching, consistently took out the genes for the fruit fly's eyes to be made, but yet every 5th generation or so, the eyes would come back. And so, you know, when people say which came first, the chicken or the egg, the answer is they're both implicit in the source field. So you have to remember now that this explains why there's no shellfish between the clam and the bony fish. You know, there's no fish with it half in and half out, because life is spontaneously evolving into new templates, which are a combination of the intelligence of the galaxy, the intelligence of the sun, and the intelligence of the planet. So we have to kind of evolve our thinking into realizing that we are not the only sentient game in town. And so when we're seeing interplanetary climate change in the solar system, it's similar to the laser beam that zaps the salamander before it gets redirected to the frog. We are the ones that are the frogs now being transformed into the salamanders. That's what the Great Pyramid was for. The open tomb in the pyramid harnessed the Earth's energy and focalized it and enhanced it so that when you sat in there at the right time of the year with the right geometric alignments and so forth, it could actually create a state where you would either die or move into this ascended condition. And 2012, again, represents sort of like the Bermuda Triangle effect, except it happens over the whole Earth. So my guidance, for what it's worth, has told me that everybody will actually warp into time-space, into this parallel reality we have, before these pole shifts and cataclysms occur. Now, that's what I have been led to believe. However, I think, like in the movie The Matrix, you remember in that scene in The Matrix when Morpheus says, you think it's 1999, but it's actually the year 2199?
Yeah.
And we reloaded, we created a computer simulation of your world at the peak of your civilization. going to happen, and this is very, very speculative, and I understand that, but what I think is going to happen is that when we all flip over into this realm, people who are not ready to just move right on to a higher level will immediately recreate the Earth from memory and not even realize that anything has changed, except that once you've gone over into this vortex area, which, by the way, if the Earth's frequency were to crank back down, you could reconstitute your physical body just like people do when they come out of the Bermuda Triangle sometimes, or these stargates. When you're over there, you can start to have all these ascended abilities just by trying. If you think hard enough about levitation, you'll levitate. If you think about healing, you'll heal. If you think about other people's thoughts, you'll hear them. So we are moving into a very interesting area.
Go, my brothers, into your cocoon, for there will be a new spectrum of life shining soon. Every mind affects the other, and our unification creates this reality around us. However, we are not the only intelligent consciousness in this universe. Our planet Earth, the Sun, and all of her sister stars are very much alive and conscious. They evolve on a macro scale just like the amoeba evolve on a micro scale. 2012 marks the evolution of our world, the spectral rapture in which our DNA will unravel and unify human beings who are bound by an ancient cosmic prophecy. As we have borne the image of the man of dust, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly man. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God, nor does corruption inherit incorruption. Behold, I tell you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye. This I say, brethren, that last trump does not inherit the kingdom of God, sound, nor does corruption inherit incorruption. Behold, I tell you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, and the dead will be raised incorruptible, and we shall be forever changed.
Our conscious mind is not just our own thoughts, that other people's thoughts influence our conscious mind, and we interpret those feelings as if they were first person, as if we created them. So one of the real keys to being psychic actually upgrades physical matter on the planet, causing Bermuda Triangle interdimensional warp phenomena, including the warping of the human body, which is what the Christians think of as rapture or ascension.